Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of your favorite sport channel, Sport In and Out. And here we are going to be discussing about the NPFL. So just dive right in. So we're talking about the NPFL. What do you think about the NPFL so far? Like how we normally start. What do you think about the NPFL?
Yes, the MPFL so far it has been a roller coaster. We have seen the likes of Ikorodu City actually playing well this time around. They had a win, that's back to back wins home. So it's just something that is very good. And also their former coach, who is now the coach of Shooting Stars, Coach Aweru, is actually doing well in as a Shooting Stars manager. We saw where Shooting Stars tired. They lost some games and also drew some games. And Coach Aweru is actually carrying them to the top. I think they're second on the table right now. And yes, that's to show you that the MPFL this season has been thick.
Yes, for me, the MPFL this season has actually been exciting. It has been fun. Going to watch the games, you actually know that these teams know what they are actually doing. The management, the organization, the structure is actually getting better. And that's what we always say. The NPFL is getting better. You don't have to always talk down on the NPFL. You just have to just try to look for the positives in every single game.
And
Just
ways to actually improve the league.
Yes, and ways to improve the league, just like Ikorodu City are actually improving the league in based on stadium wise, jersey endorsements. People actually looking at this particular league to actually invest money in clubs, and we call on other investors to actually look at other clubs and actually start to invest in other clubs. This NPFL, now everybody supposed chop for inside. So let's just move into the results of the week. There were two postponed games due to the continental outings for those particular two games. We're going to be starting with the game between El Kanemi versus Wiki Tourist, and that game ended in favor of El Kanemi Warriors 2-1. Bendel Insurance versus Rivers United was postponed due to Rivers United actually going for CAF
Yes.
competition. That's Niger Tornadoes. The next game, they defeated, should I say they defeated or they trashed Plateau United 4 goals to 0. And Eyimba lost at home. Eyimba have actually, they have a shaky start. They had a winning run and an unbeaten run, and now they're actually getting
They
defeating
lost.
from people that Eyimba lost to Warri Wolves, the newly promoted side. Warri Wolves have actually been doing well this season, and that game ended.
I think last week as well, they lost against Kun Khalifat, a newly promoted
Promoted
side.
side,
I don't think they are doing well against the newly promoted side.
Yeah, and they actually drew to Ikorodu City
Yes.
1-1 in that particular game. Eyimba lost 2-1 in that particular game. Barawu FC actually won a game. Fortunately for them, against Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars has not been doing well. I think at the end of the season, let's just see if Kano Pillars are going to be relegated this season. I don't know. 2-1, that game ended in favor of Barawu FC. Bayelsa United were defeated at home uh, versus Kun Khalifat. Kun Khalifat have actually been winning a lot of games now. That game ended 2-1 in favor of Kun Khalifat, the away side. And Kwara United actually defeated Katsina United. That game ended 1 goal to 0. Shooting Stars on the winning ways. They defeated Abia Warriors. That game ended 2 goals to nothing. Ikorodu City took all 3 points from the game against Nasarawa United. Anas Yusuf couldn't even get the back of the net in that particular game. That game ended 2-0 in favor of Ikorodu City. And Remo Stars versus Rangers International was actually postponed. There's something I wanted to talk about for Ikorodu City. We heard in the post-match press conference that they are on 23 home matches at home on
Unbeaten.
the unbeaten stretch, and also the last team to actually beat them in Lagos was actually Nasarawa United. What do you think about the Ikorodu City team?
Yeah, the Ikorodu City team has improved. 23 matches unbeaten in at the Onikon Stadium. It's actually something to clap for. and it's not really easy to actually do that. I think they are gunning for the record of the most home
Wins,
wins
yes, on the stretch,
on
yes.
the stretch. I think Ikorodu City have been doing well. I think their coach is actually doing well in that regard to actually keep that team to not even losing at home. We saw the game against Nasarawa United. Nasarawa United couldn't even get to the back of the net, and Ikorodu City had a lot of chances. We saw a goal that was actually ruled out for offside as well. So that it was meant to be 3 goals to 0, but it ended up 2 goals to 0. Kudos to the Ikorodu City players. Joseph Arumala, one player that was added to the team, is actually doing well for the team, scoring those goals and making those runs and making Ikorodu City a better football club.
Yes, coming from a team that actually just got promoted last season into the NPFL, and last season was actually their first season. They
Yeah.
used to call them the babies of the house. Now they are no longer the babies. They are actually showing progress in this particular league. The NPFL is not for the weak, and they've shown that they are part of the strong men in
Yes.
this particular league. So congratulations to them on this winning ways in Lagos. I'm so happy that every time we could go watch their game, we are actually sure of them picking up a point at least in
Even
their
in the
game.
last game, sorry to cut you short. In the last game, we saw National United. They are top of the table, and them not getting at least a goal in that. Ikorodu City had they had a clean sheet in that game, but sadly we saw some of their players being rushed off due to some 1 or 2 injuries. We saw Musa Malik as well getting injured, and
Yeah.
Kelechi as well getting injured. We wish those players quick recovery. It's just a pity you see a young player like Musa Malik being injured early this season, but the coach actually said that they are trying to evaluate the injury, and he might be coming back to the pitch of play very soon.
Yeah, I actually think Musa Malik's injury is not really something serious. Osimhen had a similar injury and started using the mask. I think in the NPFL we can actually start using the mask for some players
Yes.
who are actually injured like that. And for me, we actually just talk about another team that's Barau that's beating Canopilas. What is wrong with Canopilas this season?
Yeah, for me, Kano Pillars this season, they've had a rough start. I think Kano Pillars, for me, what I think is they might not relegate, but the way they are playing right now, they are last. They are last on the table. Let's just want to see what Ahmed Musa has to tell the team, because he is the managing director of that particular football club.
Yeah.
I think he needs to actually step in to speak to his players, because last season was a better season for Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars didn't play like this; they played with discipline, and I think after that game, their coach was suspended. So I think they need probably a new coach to actually coach that team and to be disciplined and also to play very well.
Yes, for me, I think Canopilas are actually need a lot of discipline. I was going to talk about the Shooting Stars' new winning ways, but I will let us save that for later in the video. So let's talk about another game that's going to be Warri Wolves defeating Enyimba, the Elephants of Aba.
Yeah, one person that will be very happy for that result is we always say it, Mr. Amaju Pinnick, the former NFF president. Is one great supporter of Warri Wolves, and Warri Wolves now defeating like one of the biggest teams in the NPFL. You look at it as they're actually doing well this season. I just hope Warri Wolves try to thrive to actually gone for the top um, 5 slots. I won't say they should top for the go for the league title, but actually they should actually do well to finish in that type of position Ikorodu City finished last season.
Yeah, for the new teams, that's Barau, Konkalifat, Warriors. I'm actually looking at those teams as teams that are they just showing themselves like initial Gaga. This is just 8 games or 9 games into the season. Let's just see what they can do if they can keep replicating these winning ways towards the second half of the season, because they always say the second half of the season is the beginning of the season.
Yes.
Let's see what teams can actually do if you start playing those pressure games. Everybody wants to win games when it comes to second half of season. But for Warri Wolves, I think they actually
They stand a chance.
they stand a chance of finishing top 10 in the league. For Barawu FC starting to win games, for me, I think Barawu might actually go back and try to come back to the NPFL, but I'm not sure. This is a season that I'm not even sure who is even going to win the league.
Or who is even going to relegate? Because we're seeing the difference, point difference between the relegation and those that are at the top is not even
Yeah, they are not
favorable.
too
They are not
far
too
from
far
each
from each
other.
other. So you look at any team can relegate this
Yeah,
season.
it's just like the EPL where Manchester United are number 9 and they are just 6 points
Yeah,
behind
the
the
number one.
first position. So that's it. But it's nothing like the NPFL. NPFL number one is not 20, it's not 10 or 15 points away from
For the
the
last.
last position. We can actually say that we will actually give you the table of the NPFL, and let's just see who is actually number one and who is actually number 20 on that.
Yeah, so I'll be giving you the table, and also Nasarawa United FC are on number one. They're on 19 points. Shooting Stars, Shooting Stars where Coach Awero is coaching now. They were actually almost bottom of the table,
At
and
the
now they
beginning
are
of the
on number
season.
two. They have 15 points. Abia Warriors FC have 15 points. They've played 9 games. Niger Tornadoes have played 9 games as well. They're on 14 points. Ikorodu City FC, 9 games, 14 points. They're on number 5 on the table. Warri Wolves that we talked about, that Mr. Amaju Pinnick will definitely be impressed with this performance. And they've played 9 games. They're on 14 points. They're on sixth position. El Kanemi seventh, 14 points as well. Played 9 games. Eimba FC played 9 games as well. They're on 14 points. They're on 13 points. So you can see the points difference. Those that are on 14 points and
That's just
are just 5 points away to the top. And we have like three teams
four
on
teams on 14
14
points.
points. Then we move to Rivers United, who are currently on number 9 position. They've played 7 games. They're on 12 points. So if they win their remaining 2 games, they have the opportunity to actually move
Yeah,
to the top of the table as well. Um, Kwara United are on number 10. They've played 9 games, 12 points. Castina number 11. They've played 9 games, 12 points. Rangers, Enugu Rangers FC, International FC, they're on number 12, and they've played 9 games as well and 12 points. Kun Khalifat FC have played 9 games, 11 points. Bayelsa United have played 9 games, 11 points. Remo Stars of Ikene have played 7 games and they're on 10 points. So if roughly if they win their two remaining
they'll
games,
be on
they'll
16 points.
be on 16 points. They have the chance to actually move top as well. Um, Wiki Tourist FC played 9 games. They're on 9 points. Then let's go to the relegated sides as sat this match day 9. We have Plateau United FC. They're on 9 points. They've played 9 games. Barau have played 8 games. They're on 8 points. Bendel Insurance have played 8 games. They're on 6 points. And Kano Pillars have played 8 games and they're on 5 points and they're last on the table. What do you think about which team are you surprised of their position on this table?
Yeah, definitely. At the beginning of the season, we actually talked about shooting stars, and now they're actually showing that Coach Awero is actually a slow starter. He's a coach that starts slow and actually ends up at the top very, very
We
quickly.
saw what he did for Ikorodu
For
City
Ikorodu
last
City,
season. Ikorodu City
lost 3 games.
coming to the league as
Yeah,
fresh
newcomers.
newcomers and getting the fourth position.
Yeah, and we know that they lost their first 3 games, just as Shooting Stars actually lost their first 2 games. I think this coach always used to disguise a little bit, so people will not really know his ability. But when he starts, I think that's when you actually see the future in this particular team. I think Shooting Stars are actually one side to actually look out for in this particular league for the top 3 continental positions. Let's just see what will happen at the end of the season because Coach Awero almost did it for Ikorodu City. Let's see if he can actually do it for Shooting Stars FC. There are other news that we'll actually talk about, but we will actually want to give you the next match day fixtures. For me, still talking about the table, I think number one, Nasarawa United that lost to Ikorodu City. Ikorodu City actually being a team that you can always rely on Ikorodu City, and at home in Onikon, it's just like Onikon is just their safe haven. Yeah. They can't just lose at Onikon. We know how the fans turn up. We know how they shout for goals. We know how they shout whenever the opponent wants to even try to score. And we know that there's beautiful football in Lagos.
And we know Nasarawa United also tried in that game, but they couldn't just get to the back of the net because Ikorodu City, they have a solid keeper there, and that keeper, do you think he might actually win the goalkeeper of the season at the end of the season? Because I think the way he's going, I think he has the most clean sheets right now. He had a clean sheet last week. He had a clean sheet this week, and he has had like three other clean sheets before the last two games. So let's just say he's roughly equaling five clean sheets this season. What do you think about that goalkeeper?
Yes, for me, their goalkeeper is actually one special player. Is very important to the squad. He was looking shaky in the last game. We're thinking that maybe he was actually going to get injured, but he actually bounced back and actually started uh, playing very, very well. And he's a kind of keeper that you can actually trust. Although I will actually prefer he catches the ball, he holds the ball than push it out because you don't know what can happen in rebounds. What if someone comes in and just takes the ball from you? I will actually give him an advice. Just try to hold the ball and not try, do not push the ball.
Yeah. So I'll be giving you the next match fixtures, and Plateau United will be taking on Eyimba on Friday, the 24th of October, 2025 by 4 o'clock. Abia Warriors will be taking on Bahau FC on Friday as well. Warri Wolves will be taking on Bayelsa United. Wiki Tourist will be taking on Shooting Stars, who have been on a winning streak. Enugu Rangers will be taking on Kwara United. Castina United will be taking on El Kanemi Warriors. Rivers United will be taking on Ikorodu City FC. That's an away game for Ikorodu City. Kun Khalifat FC will be taking on Bendel Insurance. Kano Pillars will be taking on Niger Tornadoes. Nasarawa United will be taking on Remo Stars on November 5. That's when Nasarawa will be taking on um,
Yeah, but
Remo
but
Stars.
for the Ikorodu game, are you sure it's not going to be postponed? Because we can actually see that Rivers United actually have an obligation for the CAF. So I'm actually just thinking, probably that game is going to still end up being postponed. I don't know. But if the match is going to be played, I'm actually looking out for that particular game. That's Ikorodu City versus Rivers United. I'm actually going to say Rivers United might actually edge that game because of their home. Ikorodu City, they don't used to give chance. They can actually try to pick up a point, but based on that away factor, I think Ikorodu City should actually just try to prepare very, very well for
And
that
yes,
game.
you had a point. I think that match will be postponed and moved to another date because Rivers United are playing the
Yes,
continental
yes,
football, and
competition.
yeah, so we would just love to actually see the updates on that. But other games will go through. It's just Remo Stars and Rivers United
United.
are in continental football competition. So I think those matches might not hold due to that reason. So let's move to the continental competitions. The CAF Champions League, which Remo Stars were defeated 5 goals to 1 at Abeokuta, where that match was played, the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. 5 goals to 1. Remo Stars even just getting that late goal against Mamaludu Sundowns. What do you think about that game in particular?
Yeah, for me, Remo Stars losing. It was a game that it was actually I didn't expect the scoreline, but I expected Mamadou Sundowns to win that game. But 5-1 is actually a trashing based on the caliber of what we call Real Monsters in the Nigeria Premier Football League. This season, yes, they've not really been performing. People have been saying that Shane are the same Real Monsters where they perform for league. They are the same team that now went to play against Mamadou Sundowns. When I saw the draws where Mamelodi Sundowns were playing against Remo Stars, I gave up on Remo Stars immediately because not that I don't trust Remo Stars in Nigerian side, but Mamelodi Sundowns are the champions in South Africa. You can't expect them to come to Nigeria and actually lose
Yeah,
to the
for
Nigerian
me,
side.
I see it as being unfair to actually draw
Yes, at this
Remo
early stage,
Stars with
preliminary, second
Mamelodi
preliminaries.
Sundowns. I think they should have drawn them during the game, like among the groupings. I think it was just an unfair draws to actually draw Remo Stars and hey, because 5-1 was really, 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 really,
That
really,
that's
really
what they
bad.
call a trashing, a very 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 bad one. And so let's move to Ikorodu City battling injuries. So we can actually say Shola Adelani has been sidelined since match day 3. Ayomide Cole still out since the Mina defeat. Musa Malik and Kelechi were forced off during this
Last
weekend,
year.
the last game, and Tosin Oyedokun also out injured. What do you think about this injury crisis for this particular young squad?
Yeah, the injury crisis is a terrible situation having your players injured. But I think Ikorodu City has an array of players that they can use to actually substitute. And we've been seeing the likes of Joseph Arumala. It's the only player I'll see that will be injured for Ikorodu City that we actually paying the squad is Joseph Arumala
Probably
because
Waliu.
and probably Waliu, that's the captain, because those players are key players for that team. But Kelechi, yes, very good,
Very important
very
player.
important
That
defensive midfielder.
midfielder.
He has done a great job in that midfield. But we saw him walking out of the pitch with a kind of discomfort, and it's just a pity for a young player like that to get injured early in the season. We know what happens to some players when they get injured early in the season. Probably when it gets to the winter transfer window or any transfer window, they get other players that might replace them, and the player actually coming back might be a difficulty because you have to test that player to actually know that that player is very good and fit to play again.
Yes, two players that I'm actually concerned about is number one is actually Shola Adelani, best player for Ikorodu
Ikorodu
City
City
last
last season.
season. Now coming to this season, I'm not seeing him actually playing
He has
this
even scored a
particular.
goal
But
this
yes,
season.
this season. So him being sidelined means that the injury is actually a little bit serious. Since the third game, he has not played, and this is we're actually
Week
going
9,
to week
week
10.
10.
This next game. I just hope that he's actually fit very very soon, so we can see the star in him show up. And for Musa Malik, I'm actually very, very sad about this guy's injury because it was, should I say, it was an unconscious thing that happened. They didn't even know that he was injured until he was down, and people started, and the medics had to evaluate him, and he was actually taken out of the pitch. But I actually saw him after the game. He was actually looking okay. So I think he's going to be coming back even faster than Kelechi. Kelechi actually leaked out, so I don't know about maybe stress and so I think they have some time to rest because of the Rivers game that might be postponed. So they have some time to rest before their next home game for the season. So I'm actually going to say that I wish these guys can actually recover very quickly. Very smooth, fast recovery for all these guys that we've mentioned. So let's just talk about the elephant in the room, which is shooting stars. This man called Coach Aweru doing it again for Shooting Stars. What he did for Ikorodu City, replicating it in this new club. He has won 3 games and drawn one. He has won 4 games and drawn one in his
His
last
last
five.
5 games, yes. Winning streak,
Three times
back to back
back to back
wins,
winnings. Yes.
and drawing just 1 game in the last 5 games. It is a good development for Shooting Stars. It shows that they actually got a good coach for a good buy. And at the beginning of the season, I was like, is it a good decision? Because Shooting Stars actually got two main men from Ikorodu City. That they got they got this someone else from to be the sporting director for Shooting Stars from Ikorodu City as well, and they got Coach Awero to be the head coach of Shooting Stars. They call them the Oluyole boys, and doing very well this season. It's actually a good development, very good coach, because they say when the players don't play well, it's the coach they will blame. When the players play well, it's the coach that would
Receive the
actually receive the
praises.
praises. So I'm giving him his flowers. He has done well for the team. Shout out to Coach Awaru coaching the Shooting Stars side and doing well.
Yes, shout out to Coach Awero, doing a very spectacular job for the Shooting Stars team. I think that's where we'll be drawing the curtains for this particular video. And if you need more updates on both EPL, NPFL, and the Champions League, just make sure that you click the like, share, and subscribe button for this particular page, Sports In and Out.
And also follow us on all social media platforms at Sporting and Out on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Sports In and Out. And you'll get the best of sports news.
Yes, don't forget you can actually bet on one expert using our promo code Sporting and Out, SPORTINANDOUT, Sporting and Out. You can get up to 300% bonus on your first deposit while using that promo code. So don't dull, just go to the One Expert website and just start winning. And don't forget that this is an above 18 ad.
If you are not 18, please don't bet and bet responsibly.
responsibly.
Thank you guys for watching today's episode.
Please
And
like,
please like, share,
share,
and
and
subscribe.
subscribe.